following the Supreme Court's ruling in favor of 5 Gambians who took the IEC and the Gambia government to court over the issue of violation of their voting rights. The plaintiffs went ahead and sought for the enforcement of the Supreme Court ruling by the High Court, but the High Court in Banjul on Friday dismissed the application for the enforcement of the Supreme Court's ruling on the diaspora voting, citing lack of jurisdiction. Mariama Cham has more details of that in this report.
In what seems to be months of tussle in order to have their say in electing the country's next president in the December 4th polls, the diaspora Gambians' final hope to vote has been shattered when the High Court dismissed their application for an enforcement of the Supreme Court ruling on their participation earlier this year. The Supreme Court had reaffirmed the diaspora's political rights by describing the continued disfranchisement of the Gambians living abroad as illegal and constitutes an assault on their fundamental rights. The dismissed application by the High Court was meant to enforce the declaration made by the Supreme Court for Gambians living in the diaspora to be registered and participate in the upcoming elections. The diaspora voting has created a lot of friction between Gambians abroad, the government of the Gambia and the electoral body IEC. Lawyer Abdullahi Fati, representing the plaintiff, says the applicant's lawyer could have requested for the Supreme Court to give an order for their declaration.
We filed a separate application to the High Court seeking enforcement of that judgment of the Supreme Court. However, the application failed. The court said that it lacks the power, the jurisdiction to grant the application since the Supreme Court had the power to have granted the application, and therefore, since the Supreme Court decided not to do that, a higher court, which is of a lower, of a lower category to the Supreme Court, but if it did so, that means it was, in a way, interfering with the decision of the Supreme Court. So on that basis, and over reason, the application failed, unfortunately.
Lawyer Fatu Mjao, who represented the Electoral Commission, says a separate application was filed for enforcement of the judgment made by the Supreme Court, which according to her also failed.
Like what the court said, the right thing that the applicants would have done was to go back to the Supreme Court and tell the Supreme Court to give an order or a consequential order of their declaration. Because like the court mentioned, there are 2 kinds of judgments or declarations. You have the executory and the declarative judgment. So the Supreme Court gave a declaratory judgment. And in law, declaratory judgments are not enforceable. They are just declaring the existence of rights or certain situations. And it did not order the respondents, that is the AG or the IEC, to register the Gambians. So in that regard, you cannot enforce the judgment. So what the lawyer would have done, that is the applicant's lawyer, is to go back to the Supreme Court and file for them to give orders for the respondents to act on their declaration.
The application was brought under Section 39 of the Constitution, which the same section said it's only the Supreme Court that can interpret and enforce that Section 39 of the Constitution. The High Court said it doesn't have jurisdiction to enforce the judgment of the Supreme Court, considering it's a lower court. The civil suit includes 5 Gambians, Bakari Bunja Dabo, Chorna M. Jai, and Sidi Muhammad Sani, among others, that sued the Attorney General and the Independent Electoral Commission IEC. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.